I'm Dalton Grenier, and today on Catatouille we're going to make biscuits and gravy.
Being from the Midwest, it's only fair that we make biscuits and gravy.
Today we're going to take a crack at making, in my opinion, one of America's greatest comfort foods.
Before we get started, here's the ingredients for biscuits and gravy.
1 tablespoon baking powder, 3/4 cup of milk, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of butter, and 1 teaspoon of salt.
First, preheat your oven to 450 degrees. Then, measure out 2 cups of flour and pour them into your mixing bowl, which we already have here. I have no present. I'm supposed to pour them in there.
Now you're going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then you just want to stir those around evenly.
Cut in your 1/2 cup of butter, and you can use a pastry blender to mix this in, but in our case, we're going to use a fork.
And you're going to continue that until your mixture becomes coarse crumbs.
This is like really hard. Okay. I think I read someone saying that a pastry blender works well if you're going to use butter.
Probably.
Now, we're going to pour our milk mixture into the flour while stirring with the fork.
Mix in the milk until it's soft and pulls away from the side of the bowl.
Now that it's finished, we're going to roll our dough out into a floured surface, and we're going to roll it around until it's no longer sticky.
Roll out your dough into a 1/2 inch sheet. Use a cookie cutter or a cup to cut out your biscuits.
For our final step, we're going to place our biscuits into our ungreased baking sheet into the oven for about 10 minutes until golden brown.
When we get back, we're going to get started on our sausage gravy.
Back before the creation of the United States was the creation of the biscuit. Though the recipes for biscuits as England has them today were what traveled overseas, the form of the biscuit slowly changed as the U.S. progressed. Biscuits were seen as a delicacy since there was little resources of flour and sugar at the early age of the country. So instead, they were reserved for Sunday lunch. As the years went by and Southerners began making their own unique communities, biscuits slowly took shape as the round, fluffy, buttery pillows of dough we have now.
We back up in here.
What's cooking, good looking? Our biscuits are in the oven, so now let's get started on our sausage gravy. Here's what you'll need.
A 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of ground pepper, 3 to 4 cups of milk, 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, and 1 pound of breakfast sausage.
In a large skillet on medium-high heat, tear your sausage into small pieces and cook until nice and brown.
Once your sausage is cooked, reduce to medium-low heat and then sprinkle in your flour little by little until it's all soaked up.
Once that's incorporated, pour in your milk and stir constantly. Sprinkle in your salt and pepper and let your gravy cook for about 10 to 12 minutes until it's thick. If you find that your gravy is too thick, go ahead and add another splash of milk.
As the country continued to grow, the South turned into a hub for agriculture. Long days of grueling outdoor work was the standard for many families living along the southern coast. Farmers needed food that would last all day and replenish the energy they had lost. Bread was the clear winner, but there was a problem. It had often got stale and fell apart only a couple hours into their workday. They needed something more durable for their lifestyle. The beaten biscuit is much like it sounds. Instead of letting it rise and become airy, they beat down their biscuits to make them dense. The beaten biscuit was compact and could easily fit in your overalls.
Stay tuned for when we come back to witness the ultimate marriage of biscuit meets gravy.
Bum bum bum.
Our biscuits are fresh out of the oven and our gravy's finished. Let's put them together and find out how they taste. Alright, let's just go for it.
Okay, I don't need silverware. Eat it like a sandwich.
She eats it the non-normal way.
Nope. It is how you're supposed to eat it. Always like this.
I guess we'll go at the same time. You ready? Alright,
1, 2,
3, 2, 1, go. Just like Grandma used to make, let me tell you.
I'm gonna be biased and say my grandma's a really good cook and I like hers. These are pretty good. Although I do think the biscuits mine are at least a little dry.
Yeah, I think that kind of stems from, you can use butter, but also shortening works really well. Just kind of depends if you want a flakier biscuit or a more crumbly biscuit, which I prefer for biscuits and gravy. It's a little peppery. Could definitely deal with about half of the pepper that we put in. But it's still pretty good.
I don't mind the pepper, but it's because I really love seasoning. I love taste. I don't like plain anything. So I like it.
I like that. Really good for the price range. I would say you can make this whole meal for just under $12 and serves about 6 to 8 people really well. We made a lot of gravy, so that's one thing that you can definitely adjust towards however many people that you're trying to make it for. Very cost effective and very cheap, very good. So for the rating this week, I'm gonna have to give this 12 grandmas out of 10 dinner plates.
I'm gonna do 11 grandmas. I'll jump down one. And 7 bouncy balls.
That's good. That's how you know it was good.
Grandmas.
That's it for this week on Catatouille. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, or on KNWT Channel 8.
For previous episodes of Catatouille, click here.
And for the newest episode of Gen 2, click here. What? Oh. We gotta do it again, though.
You look like a cat.
Me?
No, Dalton.
Oh.